All right, Scorpio, let's get into it. So this is going to be your monthly reading for the month of August 2023. So anyone with prominent Scorpio placements in the birth chart, thank you so much for being here. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's open up the channel. Let's receive the messages, sit into the energy. Take some deep breaths. As we're doing this, just want to thank everyone and anyone who has supported the channel. I recently reached 100 subscribers. I'm a little over at this point. I've only been on a little over 2 months, so it's a huge deal for me, and I'm so grateful for everyone's support and engagement, all the subscribers, anyone who has liked the videos or commented. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. And then as always, of course, if you gain any perspective or insight from any of the readings, especially this one, please hit the little thumbs up video, like the little thumbs up button, like the video. I would appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. All right, so I'm welcoming in the energy of the Scorpio group that I'm reading for today. Welcome in, Scorpio. I was meditating on your energy and I saw a hand sort of touching this water or something, and it started to create a ripple effect. So I was trying to figure out what that meant. And obviously, like, the basic thing would be like, okay, you're creating a ripple effect. But I think it was a little deeper than that. It just made me think about the fact that Scorpio is the solid water sign, right? Like the fixed water sign. So the water with the Scorpio is deep, still, dark water. So you think of the cardinal water, which is Cancer, and that water is like flowing like a river, right? Like a raging river going a direction. You think of the water element with the Pisces, and that one's adaptable and flexible, and it's the waves, the back and forth, right? And it's so weird because my screen here, there's a lake and the water is still. This is not the type of movement. This is still water. Anyway, so, but it's creating a ripple effect. So I think that the Scorpio is coming out of their depths. I think that Scorpio is probably going to experience some sort of change. There's going to be some sort of movement because you're so fixed and so solid. You know, there's rarely any change, even though, yes, you do rule death, transformation, and all of that stuff, but it doesn't mean like you willingly go into it, right? Your inclination, your instinct is to try to maintain stability, try to maintain routine, or, you know, the same, even though you know that the change is inevitable. And you do handle those moments very well, obviously, right? That's what you're made for. You're made for the death rebirth. But it could be just like a little rumble, maybe the beginning of the next death rebirth. But definitely there is a ripple in the still, deep, solid, you know, dark water. So we're going to see what that's about as we pull the cards and go into the reading. So let's get into it. Hope you're having a good month so far. I'm so sorry that I'm late in your reading, but for a reason, you're one of the last signs to go in this August zodiac sign collection that I'm doing. All right, Scorpio. What's up with the Scorpio energy for the month of August? What's in their personal energy this month, please? Scorpio. Personal energy for Scorpio. Excuse me. Right? You're walking away from something. You have the 8 of Cups here. You're walking away from the still water that we were speaking of. Come out of the depths. You've come out of the dark. Yeah. This Chariot card is very popular this month. Chariot card relates to a path, forward movement, destined movement, a little bit futuristic. We are on the move. We are on the go. This card is the card of the Cancer element or Cancer sign. So again, going back to that cardinal water of having direction and going to a certain place. But there's truth about this. You have made up your mind, I feel, with the Ace of Swords. Truth comes through with the Ace of Swords, but I'm hearing you made up your mind. Maybe you have been tinkering or flirting with the idea of change in some way. That's why it was just that little ripple, like, you know, you're just sort of putting your finger in the water and seeing what happens or seeing where it goes, but not necessarily like really getting out of it and creating a big wave. But it's almost like, let me try this out. Let me, I don't know, just dip my toe in, right? See what happens. Not committing full force, but trying it out or something like that. But I think that now, at the time that you're listening, you decided to really just get out of the depths and come out of the water. See how here it's the still water and she's coming out of it and walking away. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little ritualistic, I'm feeling as well. Maybe you're doing some fire and fire intentions, fire elemental type of magic where you're burning something and doing away with it and looking toward the future, looking away from your past, and being very clear that this is where you're supposed to go. I also feel that some of you want to jump from one like extreme to another extreme, which is not which is actually typical, right, for your energy. Like, it's like, okay, I don't need to go through all of the process. I just want to go from point A to point B instantly, something around that. So whatever this change is, it may be like really drastic, which is probably in your nature to do this, like the instinct or the, what is it, the power, the bravery, you know, like you're so solid, you're so fixed, you're so still for so long, but when there is change, it's like you make it from one day to the next type of thing. But it's calculated, as always. Of course, there is a sense of like, you have already been thinking about this. You already know how it's going to affect you. You already know the outcome or the potential outcome. You have calculated the results. You've calculated what you may lose, you know, done the whole ratios or the balancing out of like pros and cons, something like that. No more confusion, no more messy head, no more messy thoughts. It's just like a straight line, straight from one point to the next now. Maybe before there was some confusion, a little bit of fear, even knowing that it's going to be hard, it's going to be a long process or journey. It's going to require work and a sense of being inconvenienced and a little uncomfortable. So that's why it's like, how can I get from point A to point B as quick as possible without ruffling any feathers or without like damaging the foundation, like trying to balance and have both, right? Trying to keep some sort of stability. So you want to just like sort of push through something as quickly as possible and not break anything on the way, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you'll be able to do that. I mean, we'll see how or what that means, if that message wants to be expanded in the rest of the reading. If not, that's just what I'm getting at this point. That's your intention, that's your goal. But you are definitely in charge. You are in control. You're taking full, like you're taking your power back. You are exuding your power onto this process, on this journey. You know you're about to embark on a journey. And it's just, and I also feel like that, like, trying to get there as fast as you can, trying not to have any obstacles, anything in your way. So trying to be smart about, you know, the path that you're taking and the directions to get there. But I do feel like you don't want it to be a lot of detours. You don't, because I've been talking about the path recently for the past few signs that I've done, because this Chariot card keeps coming out. So, like, you know, for some signs, it's been like, okay, you know the directions, you know what exits you have to take, you know when to get back on the road, like stuff like that. But in your case, you don't want to take any exits. You want it to be like straightforward, clear. You know, there's no detours, there's no exits, there's no getting on and off or turning lefts and rights, like just from one to the next. Because I feel like if you knew that you had to do a whole bunch of turning and exiting, you probably wouldn't want to do it. Or you've been thinking about this for so long that you have finally created the path in your head that is the most clearest without all of the exiting strategies, right? Like, you're trying to get your way as much as you can. You're trying to manifest this process. You don't want to deal with the transfer, that middle part of the transformation, right? When you're in the middle of the end and the beginning, when you're transforming and when you're in the cocoon, however you want to call it, that middle part, that's the dark part, that's the ugly part, that's the messy part, that's the shitty part. But that part is needed. And I don't want to like make anyone feel weird, like, you know better, you know, like, don't tell me how that feels. I know how that feels. I know you know how that feels. Like, I mean, you've gone through many death rebirths in your life, I'm sure, by now. But if you have, then you know how needed that part is. And there is an element of wanting to skip over it. And that is really coming from a sense of fear. You don't want to face something. You don't want to face a certain part that this certain specific death transformative, you know, rebirth process is going to teach you. Because each transformational process we have throughout life teaches us something different, because we go through them in a different phase of life. There's a different maturity level that we have during every death rebirth process. And I don't know, you know, I mean, I'm assuming that because we're in a Scorpio reading, you're very familiar with it. I mean, I have Pluto, like, right there, my ascendant. And it is also in retrograde at the 29th degree. So, and also I have Mars and Saturn in Scorpio in my first house as well. So, I mean, when it comes to transformation, I know all too well what this process is like. And so I understand that it's messy, it's ugly, it's inconvenient, all the things, but it's also necessary. And when we go through it, like I was saying, we go through it at a different part of life. Like, there's a different maturity level, which means that there's a different lesson that we need to learn. And I don't want to disappoint or make anyone angry or anyone like that if whoever's taking this reading seriously, but shit, like, you need to go through that moment. You cannot shy away from that moment. You cannot be scared of that moment. That's the moment that creates the power. That's where that's like, you need the ashes in order to rise as the phoenix, right? Without the ashes, there's nothing to rise out of. Okay? So you need to burn it. You need to, like, create the ash. So that way the phoenix can be born of the ash. The ash is important. You cannot be a reborn, you know, phoenix without it. And that ash part is that middle ground. Okay? It's necessary. You may try to get from point A to point B without going through that middle ground, but it'll come back. You're not going to gain the full lesson. If you don't gain the full lesson, you're going to do this all over again. I don't know who that's for. All right. Let's see what's in the environment for the Scorpio, please. So the environment could be people, situation, circumstances, or another part of you. This 10 of Cups, I don't know how many readings have come out with it in the same position. There's emotional fulfillment that people are looking for right now in August, this summer. They're needing it because of the change. People are feeling alone. People are feeling scared. They need to feel protected and loved and supported. Because this change is happening to all of us in one way, shape, or form. Like, we just went through a huge astrological event as it relates to the nodal shifts of the moon, the nodal signs, the moon, the nodes of the moon, geez, changing. They're squaring Pluto. The sun, it was opposing Pluto, created a T-square, like wherever Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra fall in your chart, there was big changes in those houses. Anyway, so in your environment, you have 2 tens here, plus the 4 of Wands of home and family and love and togetherness. You want it all. You may actually have it all this month. In your environment, you have it all. You have the emotional fulfillment. You have the security, stability, family, foundation, money. There is a sense of support from your family, from your loved ones, celebrating, having a good time, being home, loving home, being in your body, good health. But there's still this element of going towards something else. This is probably just a matter of you understanding that it is divine timing, that you need a change. You understanding that it's inevitable, that you need to go through this. You have probably been feeling this for a good bit. Like I mentioned when I was talking about everything in the top row here. So you may have created a really solid foundation for yourself. You may have worked really hard to get where you're at this moment. And this is also a common thing with a lot of us right now, and previous readings with the other zodiac signs, is that we have worked so hard to get where we're at now, but the universe, our soul, our higher selves, whatever, it's inevitable. It's divine timing. Like, who cares how hard we've worked to get where we're at? We're on to something else. There's an evolution, a revolution. There's something taking place that is pushing us in a different direction, that is more suitable for where humanity is at this time, that is more suitable for the conscious level, the consciousness level that humanity is waking up to at this time. The reality, the 3D, traditional, societal, environmental type of expectations that we once had, which dictated how we lived, is changing. We're going through a human revolution in the swords, or soulful revolution, something like that. So even though you have all the things, it doesn't matter. We're moving, right? We can't stop moving. We have to keep going. We have to keep evolving. There's a reason for that. You know, things don't stay the same forever. And I know you know that, but I mean, it's just the fact that, like, you have everything, but yet you're still leaving and going towards something else, right? This is a bigger reason. And that's another reason why you want to go from point A to point B without the middle, because you don't want to disturb all of this. And I understand that completely. But for some of you, wherever you're going doesn't consist of this. And I'm not saying you're going to lose everything, but there's and I'm talking more about the ideal, the belief system around what life should be, around what your happiness and contentment looks like is changing. Not saying that you're gonna lose your love, lose your family, lose your home, nothing like that. It's just more of like the ideal, the belief system around that is changing. It looks different. Life is different. Life looks different in some way. And this is cliche, but it's not like, you know, what is it? White picket fence, like, type of thing anymore, right? Like, the expectations we have of how we want our life to look is different, and it varies, and it's not the same. Like, all of us, you know, humanity is so different now compared to where we were before. Like, there is no how can I say, one way, right? Typical way of living. We are embracing the change. We are embracing how different we are. We are embracing more contentment and happiness at a soul level. It doesn't have to look the same as everyone else. We're not sacrificing what we want because what we want is different from society type of stuff. At least the people that are watching this type of content, right, are not thinking like that anymore. So happiness, contentment, life, family situations, you know, work situations, home situations, relationship dynamics, like, it's all different. Okay, so there's an element around that you are going toward what you know is true and what you feel is right for your own personal self on a soul level. And even if you've created all of this stability, which is wonderful, it's changing. Okay, so there's something about that. And just, you know, again, remember, got to go through the mess in order to learn the lesson here, so you don't prolong this death process that you're going through. Just get it over with. All right, let's go into the 12 card spread. What we do here is we break down the month from beginning, middle, and end. Get more details. What is coming through at the beginning of, and I know we're already past the beginning. Well, the beginning is usually like the first 9 to 10 days of the month. So we are, I don't even know what is today? That shows you about my life. Like, I don't know if today is Friday, Sunday, Monday. Anyway, I think it's the 5th or the 6th. What's coming through the beginning of the month for the Scorpio, please? Every day's Friday here. Okay. You have the 5 of Swords and the 4 of Swords. With the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. So, beginning of the month, you need some rest and rejuvenation. With that 4 of Swords, you need to just get away from some toxic, shitty, low-level, ugly, messy, gooey people. If it's not others, I mean, maybe you were exuding some toxic behavior and you're just like maybe you caught yourself and you're like, I can't, like, I need to get away because I am feeling ugly and shitty inside. And so you were probably exuding some of that behavior or projecting some low-level behavior. I mean, it's there's no judgment here, right? Like, I am a human being and I understand it all, you know. I wouldn't be good at tarot if I didn't experience the shit that we experience throughout life. But anyway, so no judgment. But there could have been a moment at the beginning of the month where you needed to get away from that. Like, you caught yourself and you were just like, I'm irritable. I am being, I'm projecting onto people. You know, there's something that is within me that is making me fussy, and I need to get away and I need to go and be quiet, sleep, rest, self-love, self-care, you know, sort of reflect, release, do some breath work, yoga, be out in nature, just so you can get this weird energy, this weird vibe out of your body. So that way you can come back and remember what is inspiring you. There's a fire that is brewing. There's a fire that's igniting within you right now. And it is inspiring you. You are going to feel motivated to come back out and work on some of this change that you are going through this month. Like once you get out of this messy, weird character, traits or whatever, and you rest and you get away for a bit, something is going to ignite you. Something's going to inspire you. You're going to be enthusiastic, excited, motivated, passionate about this new direction that you may be wanting to go. I also feel more than anything, it's like a new you. There's something about the Scorpio that I'm reading for that felt unstable. And I don't know, that was emotionally unstable, mentally unstable, their direction, life path, something like that. Even though you have all the stability here, like you have a really fucking good life in your environment, somebody has a good life, okay? But it's not fulfilling. There's something missing, right? Especially with this Five of Swords, you're projecting. When you're projecting, that means that there's something within you that you're not comfortable with, you don't like. And so I think that after you get away and you go quiet for a bit and all that, you start reflecting and you're gaining a new passion for this new you, more stable you. It could be mental stability, emotional stability, physical stability, financial, whatever the case is. Maybe all of them, who knows? But you're just, you feel inspired and you want to work on it some more, right? Like this is the newness of this stability that you're trying to create. And it just feels really good. Like you can't wait to do it. Could be male or female, okay, with the Queen of Wands here. Queen of Pentacles. What's coming through in the middle of the month for the Scorpio, please? Ooh, so you have the King of Wands. So there's someone else coming through mid-month. Or it could be the masculine side of you with the Chariot again. So this Chariot is making its presence known in your reading. It's a prominent energy of you need to be on that journey. You're on a journey. You're on a path. It's destined. It's time. It's divinely guided. You become aware of this mid-month. And then you have the Four of Emotions. I'm going to get all the cards out so then I can start clarifying. So mid-month comes in. There's even more of a surge of inspiration. If this is you and your masculine side, you're going to take a lot of action here. You're actually going to do something about getting on the Chariot, getting on the path. Change may come here mid-month in an external way. You are aware of where you want to go. You're aware of what you want to do. You're aware of the end destination of this journey, this path that you're taking. But for some reason, it's not as exciting as you thought it was going to be the beginning of the month when it was just in the idea phase. In the idea phase, you were excited about it and you were just like, fuck yeah, like this is what I'm going to do, whatever. But once you start taking action or something like that, like something happens where you see things more clearly, become more aware of it, and then it's just not as satisfying or not as exciting as you thought it was going to be. So we'll get more info on that as we clarify. You also have the Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, Six of Wands, and the Fool at the end of the month. So by the end of the month, you are really taking that leap. Like, I keep telling everybody this. End of August is going to look completely different. You're going to be in a completely different place than you were at the beginning of August. So, end of month, you have taken the leap. Going into September, September is going to be a new life for a lot of people. Something that they did not expect, okay, compared to where they were, you know, previous in August and even before that, throughout the beginning of the year. But yeah, something has taken a really long time here, and you have a lot of options. There's a little bit of uncertainty and like not being too clear, just because there is maybe different paths at this point, different outcomes. You have to remember what happened in the middle of the month. They gave you that awareness and that clarity about the path that you need to take, the choice that you need to make. There was something that came through that was just like, you felt it really strongly, you know, that this is where I'm supposed to go. This is the choice I'm supposed to make. This is the option I'm supposed to take. Like, there's something like that. But once you feel this like boredom or this unsatisfied, unenthusiastic feeling around it, then it just causes you to second guess it. And maybe you're trying to refine it and be like, well, you know, maybe I could do this instead and still get the same outcome or something like that. So you're creating a little bit of mess and you're creating some indecision here. And because the Chariot and the Judgment card are here in the middle, I'm saying trust that. I'm saying trust that, because this was like the first thing that came through. Even if you're not excited about it anymore, like, figure out why you're not excited about it. Like, there's something about that. It may not, like, in other words, if you're not excited and enthusiastic about it, you don't want to make that as, like, take that as a sign, quote unquote, that this is the wrong path, right? Just because it's not exciting doesn't mean that it's wrong. Figure out why it's not exciting to you anymore. Was this just a fleeting moment, or did you take it seriously, right? Like, you may have felt that you were changing your life at the beginning of the month. By the middle of the month, like, it's time to actually do the thing, and you don't feel as enthusiastic as you once did in the beginning, okay? So with the ups and downs, right, those emotions that the Scorpio tends to have, you may be just coming down from the high that you had at the beginning of the month when you were resting and rejuvenating. You're coming down because now there's a little bit of work that has to be done. And you don't want to take that, like I said, as a sign that something, that your path or the idea or the plan needs to change. Work on why you lost that inspiration. Don't work on changing the plan, if that makes sense. But let's get into it. Let's do some clarifying here. Start off with the beginning with the 5 and the 4 of Swords. For the Scorpio, please, what is the 5 and 4 of Swords, the beginning of August? Yeah, there was definitely some silence and you just needing to get away and do your own thing. Something is ending here as well. It could be the behavior, the projections that you were expressing onto others. Something about whatever was just unsettling to you within. You needed to get away so you can do away with that, end those types of patterns. See why, you know, you had them to begin with. Like, where are they coming from? And it was probably just the fact that you're subconsciously, spiritually getting ready for a change. What is this? Three of Pentacles. Communicating this. You are sharing ideas. getting excited, coming up with plans, beautiful lovers. Be talking to your significant other about the future. Ooh, yeah. And then here is the Two of Cups at the end. Oh, yeah. There's the Fool. You're taking a leap with the person. That's for sure. Or you want to, at least, in the beginning of the month, because the Fool's here. You have the Fool under, and then the Queen of Pentacles, which is this late person. Could be male or female, sorry. So something about that. You're at the beginning of the month, you're just like, I am done with this life. I'm not satisfied. I feel shitty. I may have everything. For some of you, after you take this leap, like, this isn't the environment. So it was telling me like you have it already. And I think that you do. Regardless, I think that you do. Even if you're wanting to take this leap. But you also are going toward it simultaneously, like in a way, if that makes sense, but just in a new way, which I was discussing right from the get-go. So that would mean I am reiterating. Okay, so yeah, you're discussing, you're coming up with plans, you're getting excited about a relationship here, and this new change, this leap that you want to take with this person, coming together, committing to one another, just the future. How are we going to do this? What is it going to look like? Because you're not satisfied here, right? You and your partner have, for some of you who are in relationship, probably had a rough fight or disagreement. One or both of you were exuding some toxic behavior here, and there was a need to just separate for a bit and breathe and think things through and stuff like that, right? So I think at the beginning of the month, the both of you did that, and then you're coming together and you're discussing and you're apologizing, compromising, coming back together, something like that. What is this here in the middle of the month? You have Death and the High Priestess. What can I say? Like, you're gonna go through the moment. You're gonna go through the portal, through the death rebirth, through the transformation. Like, this is happening. This is probably your person coming through. You feel it in your bones that this is happening. You feel it in your bones that you have to go. You have to make the move. And if you have been resisting the middle of August, you're not going to be able to resist anymore. You know this in your bones. Beautiful, though. You need to lean on yourself, lean on your inner knowing, lean on your higher self. Anchor yourself to God, to the universe, to spirituality, to the goddess, whatever it is, however you call it, while you go through this. You need an anchor, okay? Because this is going to require some work and some darkness, a big change, uneasy, shaky. What is this? Actually, I understand this, but I just want to know a little bit more about this person individually. I don't know if this is you or someone else. Because it's like, if it's someone else and someone else is triggering the death process, I don't know. Ooh. 2 aces. This person's coming in with an offer of love. Yeah. This person is presenting an opportunity for you to take. If you're single or just dating and your person wants to level up in the commitment, or if you're single, you met somebody and they really like you, whatever. Oh God, I feel this like all over my body right now. This person is coming with true love and like the real thing, the real relationship. However that means, however, I'm just hearing like the real thing, the real shit here as it relates to love and commitment, which is going to cause a change in direction. Where your life is headed is going to change because of this person, but you have felt it. It's going to cause a transformative moment in your life. And there is a need to listen to your higher self here and to connect with your higher self. Man, do I feel this all over my body. I don't know what this is. I can't even put it into words. Okay. Okay. Got the Judgment and the Four of Cups. No, Scorpio, don't do it. Shit. You have the Seven of Swords, clarifying Judgment, and the Four of Cups with the Four of Pentacles. This is sabotaging. Okay. For some of you, there's an element of you become aware of this and you go through a stubborn streak and you don't want to move. Maybe you were hot and heavy about it earlier. Maybe you were excited about it earlier and it all made sense and it was all great and all of that. But like I said, at some point, something's going to happen and you're going to go from being enthusiastic, motivated, excited to uninterested. But you're doing that because you're going back to this. Whatever you needed to get out of at the beginning of the month, these behaviors. You're coming back to that. You're trying to run away. You're trying to run away and you're being super stubborn. Why? I mean, everybody has their own trauma, right? Based out of trauma. It could be different for everyone. Someone's going to call you out on your behavior. As you're doing this, this person is going to call you out on it. They're going to hold you accountable. They're not going to allow you to get away with it. Like, this is not the person that, you know, just is passive and doesn't put up the fight with the Scorpio, right? Like, you have those types of people that are the yes people, but then you have the types of people that actually hold you accountable and make you face yourself, right? This person makes you face yourself. Yeah. They're bringing truth bluntly, unapologetically. A Knight of Swords and a Queen of Swords, forget it. They can be just as cutting as you. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when that happens? You're going to take and be open to the feedback and to, you know, this other person, because obviously if you're in a relationship and there's love and commitment and all this happening, there's another person involved. You can't just, like, you know, think that you can, I mean, you can actually, you can do whatever you want. Scorpios usually do whatever they want. But you're going to do this and you're affecting a whole other person. You're affecting a whole other soul, you know? Do you respect this person enough to allow them to provide you and give you this words, like where they're coming from? I also see a really, like, intense standoff between the both of you as well. One person is going to come in more aggressively and erratically, but still with their truth. Very very, I want to say low blow, very just emotional to the point where it's angry or it is aggressive. And the other person is going to be patient and clear-headed. When they do respond, they respond and they say the truth and they speak the truth, but without the emotion driven by it, if that makes sense. All right, let's get into the bottom here. What happens after this standoff? Clarify the Knight of Pentacles for us, please. Ace of Wands, Four of Cups. It's probably a conversation that has been either it's taken a long time for you guys to have this type of conversation, or there's something about timing, something about it taking a while, taking a long time. Yeah, it just feels like it's been a long time since you have come up against this type of energy. It's been a long time since you have had this type of behavioral issue here where you're sabotaging something for the sake of stability and not moving and not making change. The Emperor. Why is the Emperor here? You're still not satisfied. There's something around that, like you need to look and see like what it is that it's probably not even about the relationship. It's probably about, yeah, with the Seven of Swords coming through, it's about a behavior. It's a trauma. It's a pattern. It's something that you have to look at. If you're projecting it to be the relationship or the other person, it's not that. Seven of Cups. You're also feeling that this person is... Shit. No, it's you. It's you. Taking control, wanting to control the situation. This is a soulmate, the soul tie. Having to make a decision here with the options. The options are presenting itself. Like you see, even though you have the fight or whatever happens, like it's still there. There's still love. There's still care. There's still, you know, some sort of relationship happening here. And you want to control, you want to get away, you want to sabotage. Somebody else is feeling like shit and feeling left down. But there's still an element around making a choice. And like out of all the options, like what are you going to do? What are you going to pick? It's karmic. It's a soul tie. What is the Six of Wands? King of Cups. The Moon. What is the Fool? Death. If you're not careful, there could be an ending here at the end of the month. One more. I don't like this. Three of Cups here. The Death card. People, you're gonna have attention on you for some reason, somehow. People are going to know that you're going through this. And I know that that sounds super, like, I know that that's going to get to you. You know, just with the whole privacy thing. But yeah, you want to watch it for that. Because you have the Six of Wands here, which is attention. Something is coming to light at the end of the month. And it's gonna make you take a leap and make that decision, whether it's with this person or not. Some of you, it may be. Some of you, it literally maybe not. Like some of you at this point, it's like you what is this? Like how I said, something is coming to light. There's other people involved here. However that means, whatever that means, I don't like how that feels in my body. But there's other people involved, and you're going to know that there's other people involved. I know that your first inclination is like, oh, this person has another person. It could be that. It could be anything else. But there's something else here. Someone else. But you end up going through that death, that change anyway, whether it's with them or not. Okay? That is the inevitable part. And that's what I've been talking about to everybody. It's like you have free will and you have destiny. We are always on the destined path. But we need to... I'm sorry. Someone's at my door. Anyway, we're always on the destined path. One second. We're always on the destined path. But we have free will, right? So it's our choice to go. However, whatever direction, whatever path we're going to take. Some of us may take the harder path. Some of us may be smart about the path. You know, whatever the case is. But we're always going to end up where we need to end up. And in this reading, in this case, where we need to end up here, where you need to end up here is the death rebirth process, the transformative process. So whether it's with this person or not, this part is still going to happen. And I wish I can give you more answers about this other thing that's happening at the end of the month, but it just doesn't make me feel very good. And like I said, there's something else here. It could even be a child, a daughter or something like that as well that comes through. But I don't know. The Princess of Wands, the Page of Wands. Just give me one more for that. Yeah, that was coming through earlier. Another page, 2 pages. So you have this argument, you want to sabotage this love connection thing, and it doesn't, if it's not love, it is a partnership in some way, wanting to come together with some people. But yeah, but somebody's coming in with an opportunity, and you know it's going to change your life in some way. So if it's not a love opportunity, it's like money or a job or something like that that will fulfill your heart. But even though you get this opportunity, there's a scared mindset. There's fear here. There's that sabotaging behavior. And you're creating reasons as to why... One second. You're creating reasons as to why... sorry. So irritated right now. Okay, you're creating reasons as to why you don't want it. These are justifications, right? Something like that. But someone is going to come through and, you know, sort of fight you about it or tell you, like, you need to do this. Like, you need to take this thing or whatever, right? Like, give you the truth about yourself. It could play out that way as well. It doesn't have to be the relationship and you and then the other person fighting. For some of you, it is like that. And then at the end, it's... you know, somebody is sad. Maybe they lost an opportunity that they felt was destined for them just because they wanted to control a situation and run away. There was a need to make a decision, and I don't know if you took forever making this decision or not. But this thing is going to be known. In some way, it's going to come to light. And at the end of the month, there will be a decision made. You're going to take a leap. It's going to involve this death rebirth process, and there's other people involved here in some way. All right? Okay, let's get a card of advice for you real quick, because there's someone at my door and I need to open the door, and I refuse to open the door until I'm finished with the reading. So they're in the Texas blazing sun. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Presence, number 32, breaking down to a 5. The energy of presence supports our ability to focus our full attention and stay in the here and now. Yeah, this is your advice, Scorpio, okay? So as you go through these moments, the sabotaging moments, the, relationship dynamics, the making the choices, taking the leaps, the death rebirth especially, you just need to breathe. So you need to breathe and be present in this moment, in every moment. Don't go too far back. Don't go too far into the future. Don't go into the what ifs. Don't go into the inconvenience of change. Just flow with it as much as you can. And the best way to do that is to stay present in the moment. All right? All right, that's your reading for August, Scorpio. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and energy. Like the video, press the little thumbs up button if you were able to gain any perspective from today's reading. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Have a great month, and we'll see you on the next one.